Today I'm turning Dollar Tree and thrifted finds into high-end Christmas decor, pieces that look designer but cost almost nothing to make. This video is all about elevating, updating, and repurposing what you already have or what you can find at the thrift store or Dollar Tree. And just like my last few DIY videos, I'm giving away some of my projects. So make sure you're subscribed and leave a comment letting me know which one is your favorite. Every comment counts as an entry. Now grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's dive in. Now this DIY was inspired by Sonoma flocked wreath that retails for $120. So when I spotted this one at the thrift store for just $3, I knew I could breathe new life into it, or at least I hoped I could. The ornaments were very faded and not my style, and the flocking was yellow and some areas brown. The first thing I needed to do was to remove the ornaments, which was a little tricky. Whoever put these on really didn't want them going anywhere. Once that was done, it was time to give it a paint refresh. I didn't want to spray paint it because I was worried it would get too matted and lose the natural texture. So instead, I mixed some white acrylic paint with water and started brushing it on. But pretty quickly, I realized that brushing wasn't working too well. So I just used my hands, and honestly, I don't mind getting a little messy when crafting. It actually took me back to my finger painting days, which I hadn't thought about in years. Now, once the entire wreath was fully coated and really saturated with paint, I let it dry overnight. The next morning, I fluffed and reshaped it, and it already looks so much better. The important thing was to make sure that all of the branches were going in the same direction, like the inspiration. And I'll be adding some solar-powered fairy lights when I decorate it outside for the holidays. I just haven't figured out the best spot for the little solar panel. But I love the idea of not having to remember to turn them on. I'll link the lights in the description box if you want to check them out. And here it is, all styled. I'm so happy with the way it turned out. This ended up being super easy and was well worth the $3 and a little paint. So if you have a tired wreath, maybe give it another look. Now let's talk about some repurposing. While I was at the Dollar Tree, I spotted these bathroom and laundry room signs and instantly thought these would make the cutest Christmas card holders. You could decoupage some decorative tissue paper on the sign if you don't have a vinyl machine or are not a painter. You could even use this thrifted scarf hanger for the same idea. Just clip a few cards with mini clothespins and add some Christmas pics for greenery at the top to conceal the hanger. I could even see this reworked into an advent calendar. Another find I came across I actually picked up was this teak utensil holder by Crate & Barrel for $3. It retails for $33, and I plan on using it as a base for one of my small Christmas trees. But then I spotted these Christmas placemats for $1.99. I didn't see placemats though. I saw a rustic pillow just waiting to happen. And I thought the fringe was perfect. The only problem, they were stained. But ever since I started using Lest Oil, there hasn't been a stain I couldn't get out. It's amazing stuff. So as soon as I got home, I doused them with some Lest Oil, let them sit for a couple of hours, then tossed them in the washer. Every single stain came out. Now I don't sew, so I'm going to use the hot glue method to seal the edges, quick and easy. And because these placemats have fringe, I'm not going to glue them right side together and flip them like you would with fabric that has no edge. So I made sure to have plenty of glue ready, and these little clamps that you get from the Dollar Tree really came in handy. Just make sure that the fringe doesn't get caught up in the glue. That's the only tricky part. Gluing the entire pillow probably took me about 10 minutes. It was a very fast process, and for the stuffing, I'm using the filling from a pillow my dog chewed up when she was a puppy. Just making sure to get the corners. I then glued the last two corners at the end so that I could fill them properly. And then it was easy to close up. It's such an affordable, simple DIY, and I love that it gives something old new life. And here it is on my couch. Albeit a little early, I'll tuck it away for later. I'm so happy with the way this one turned out. Do you have some placemats you can repurpose? This next DIY inspiration comes from these beautiful white birds I've been seeing online. So when I spotted these little animal planters in the floral section at Dollar Tree, I knew the cardinals would work. and I needed a couple of small gifts for the holidays, so these were perfect. But of course, we needed to take them up a notch. Now, these come in a few styles: a penguin, a polar bear, and I think a walrus or a seal, and of course the cardinal. They were only $1.75, and the transformation couldn't be easier. I would have left the cardinal as is, but the red color was a little off and the face just wasn't my favorite. So a quick coat of flat white spray paint fixed all of that. And just an FYI, the paint did reveal a couple of minor cracks in one of the cardinals, so if you decide to do this craft, make sure you check yours before you leave the store. Now for the plant. Because they are so small, it's not going to take much, just a pick or two. So I cut some floral foam to fit. I like using a serrated knife for that, and then I hot glued it in place. I had these picks left over from previous years and just started adding until I was happy. And just like that, I have two super sweet gifts for a few dollars. I think they turned out really cute, and no one would ever know they are from the Dollar Tree. This no DIY where no glue or paint is required was inspired by so many beautiful candlesticks I've been seeing at every high-end retailer, and the holidays are the perfect time to display tapered candles. Honestly, we don't really use them much throughout the year. Jar candles just feel easier and less formal, but this is the season when that little bit of elegance feels extra special. And here are just a few I've collected over the past year from either the Dollar Tree or thrift stores, very inexpensively. What I love about tapered candles is that they aren't just for the dining room table or mantle. You can style them on a buffet, a sideboard, an entryway, or even grouped on a coffee table. I love little vignettes of 3, or go big and create a full display. They look amazing on a silver tray too. You can add embellishments like pearls, greenery, or ribbon, and I love tucking them into hurricane vases for a cozy glow. Candlelight adds that perfect, elegant, yet warm touch. It's very easy to forget how impactful something this simple can be, especially when we're caught up in elaborate holiday setups. And this is one of the most inexpensive ways to make your space feel instantly elevated. And this was supposed to be a true no DIY, inspired by these gorgeous Anthropologie pearl bow candle holders. But when I tried to attach the bows, they wouldn't stay put. So yes, I gave in and used a tiny dot of hot glue for each bow. Technically a low DIY, but totally worth it. So you'll take the smallest pearl trim you can find and tie it into a bow and add a dot of hot glue. And the smallest one works the best at making a bow. Once you have 2 bows, just glue them together and attach to the candlestick. You can add a pearl or a rhinestone for extra embellishment, but I felt mine didn't need it. This is such an easy way to bring Anthropologie charm into your home without the price tag. It's an effortless kind of craft that feels special without taking over your whole afternoon, and I think it's a pretty good dupe. This next DIY is inspired by all those beautiful white ceramic houses and Tealight displays you see at high-end retailers. That timeless, neutral Christmas look that's been popular for the past few years and just never seems to go out of style. And Dollar Tree has carried these little gingerbread Tealight houses for several years now. And while they're cute, the bright colors and uneven paint can make them feel a little, well, less high-end. But just a simple coat of white spray paint completely transforms them. And here's how they turned out. I love how fresh and elevated they now look. I hope this video gave you some inspiration to update, elevate, or repurpose what you already have. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.